garden. These are asparagus crowns. Asparagus are beautiful vegetables. In fact, one of the first vegetables that are ready for harvest in the springtime. I'm removing a rhubarb that I had planted here. I'm going to relocate this plant. This is a perennial. You plant it once and it grows back year after year. I'm preparing the area for the asparagus. Asparagus are perennials also. You plant them once and you can get the reward of the vegetables year after year after year for many, many years to come. They are a great investment. Asparagus have an incredible taproot. Did you know that the roots of the asparagus can reach down as far as 20 feet? Meaning it can reach lots of different nutrients. And that's why this vegetable is a must-have in my garden. Asparagus can be eaten raw. We enjoy picking them directly from the garden. They can also be prepared in lots of different ways, such as steaming, boiling, frying. Have you tried asparagus? And if so, what's your favourite way of preparing them? So here I'm just preparing the soil. I just dug a small trench, an area where the asparagus was going to lay its roots. In the background, you can actually see some raspberries that I will be pruning later on in the same program. Here, I'm digging out a trench where I will be placing some of the asparagus crowns. We consider our soil to be organic because we don't use any pesticides, herbicides, or any chemicals in our soil. We make most of our compost from scratch using garden waste and also some kitchen waste. The kitchen waste does not include any animal products, however, and nor does it include any cooked food. We only use uncooked products such as, potatoes, tomatoes, and cabbage, cauliflower, greens, flowers, and things like that, but nothing cooked in our compost. Here I'm just gently sieving the compost so that I can remove any of the very large particles, which I will reuse somewhere else in the garden, but I just want some slightly sifted soil in this area to encourage the asparagus to be able to break through and grow. It really is incredible to know that this stuff here, has just been created from what seems like waste. It's always impressive to know that gardening is always a giver. A lot of the stuff that you cut and want to get rid of can be reused to create another resource. So it's incredible just looking at this stuff here, that this right here will be used to be able to grow food for the future. It's mind blowing sometimes. I have here some soft fruit canes, and by soft fruits, I'm referring to raspberries. I'm pruning these back. This was actually done some weeks back in the early spring. Pruning back to remove any dead, damaged, or diseased wood. This actually invigorates the plant and allows it to put on new shoots on which the fruits will appear. later on in the year. Here you can clearly see the new shoots emerging from the baseline. When pruning, prune back to something. When I say something, I mean a leaf, a node. You'll notice that my cuts are actually slanting downwards diagonally. My reason for that is it allows the rain to run off the plant. Here, I'm actually adding some spent coffee grounds into one of my raised vegetable beds. The white that you see here are actually mycelium. That's beautiful. Any garden with mycelium is a wonderful garden. You can quite comfortably add some coffee grounds into composts. Here, I'm just adding the spent coffee grounds that has got some mycelium into my raised beds. I'll mix it in and then make use of this space. And then make use of this compost with this enriched nutrient that's added that would have otherwise been thrown away. It's quite easy to collect coffee grounds. You can do it from your household, but what I do also is I frequent anyway some of my local coffee shops and I ask them if they would be willing to give me some of their spent coffee grounds. And if you ask, guess what? Most likely they're going to say yes. So, free coffee grounds that you can add. I enjoy adding coffee grounds around the base of my black bamboo. Over here, you see me just covering some of the raised metal beds because I'm not using them currently or at the time of filming. Back to the asparagus. It's said that asparagus should not be moved once planted. And that's really because of the depth of which the roots will go into. I have to be honest, you know me, I never obey the rules. You know me, I'm always flexible with, you know me. Speaking from experience, I can honestly say that I have actually moved some of my asparagus before and they've continued to thrive. These ones I'm planting from crowns are new. But it is a good idea to select an area where they will not be in great competition with other plants and flowers. But you can see here that I'm actually planting them at the base of where I have my Leylandii trees. So ideally, this is not meant to be a good space for the asparagus, but at the same time, it's a corner in the garden where it's not being utilised, and I can just make this space available for the asparagus. There is a lot of background noise, and that's why I've decided to do this voiceover. If it gets particularly loud, I will mute the background noise and then rely solely on the voiceover to explain what's going on in the garden. Here, what I'm trying to do is create some mounds. I'm creating mounds onto which the asparagus crowns will sit. Have you ever planted asparagus out before? And tell me, if so, which are your favourite varieties? We have purple varieties and we have the green varieties, but I have recently been seeing the blanched ones, and I have to be honest though, I'm not sure that they look as appetizing. Here we have what the crown looks like. Some long fibrous roots. Looks a little bit like an octopus, I guess. And I'm going to place these over the mound. You can see me demonstrating with my hand the shape of the mound, and I'll be able to spread some roots on either side of this mound. When buying this asparagus, I intentionally purchased the ones where I saw the shoots emerging. That way, it gave me the security, if you like, that the asparagus was viable. Before planting them here, I did soak them in water for about half an hour or so. I'm just gently forking back until the crowns are more or less covered. I'm not expecting to create a harvest this year. And in fact, they say, as with all fruiting plants, you should give them up to 3 years before harvesting. Between me and you, I'm rarely ever that patient. It is said that the roots of the asparagus need not sit in wet, soaky water. And so, if you like, it might be a good idea to put some grit or grainy, sandy soil towards the tips of the roots so that in the event that there's heavy rain or when watered, that the roots do not sit in water. I have to be honest, in my garden, I just plant the asparagus and they do well. But see what works best for you. I love picking fresh asparagus straight from the garden, raw. But we eat it cooked as well, steamed usually, or sautéed with plenty of onions. Backfilling now. The benefits to being outdoors, being in the garden, toiling the soil as they say, are just too many to name. The fresh air, the birds, being with nature, reflecting. It's well documented that being out in nature has so many health benefits. Reducing the heart rate, reducing things like high blood pressure. There's a lot of background noise as you can hear here. I'm trying to speak over it. I thought I'd leave it in initially just so that you can get an idea of just how loud it becomes. But I'm going to cut it out now. So the health benefits I was mentioning: reduced resting heart rate, increased stroke volume, increased joint mobility, improved posture, increased motor skills, reduced stress, better sleep. There are too many to name. Those are just a few.